of joy welcoming our brother, Mr. Trevor Houston. Woo, 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 woo,
Oh my goodness, Renee dropping the mic on Wednesday. It's yay, yay, Renee Wednesday. Everybody unmute your mic and give Renee a yay, yay. For this Wednesday, let's rock, let's roll, let's go. Yay, yay. You fire, okay? You straight fire in here, okay? So here's also what I need everybody to do. Everybody that's online, because I'm live streaming right now, everybody that's in the Breakfast with Champions room, okay? You're on Clubhouse, you're on LinkedIn, you're on YouTube, wherever you're at, okay? I need you to just go ahead and share this thing out. Let's go ahead and let's do that real quick before we get started. Let's reset this room. Let's rock, let's roll, let's go. Cash flow. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Trevor Houston, and this is Breakfast with Champions, the Millionaire Breakfast Club. And this is your opportunity to get a seat at the table with those going the places you know you can go and doing the things you know you can do. Now, house divider with a stage on top and an audience down below. No. Instead, we look at this as the world's largest breakfast table, full of motivation, education, inspiration, and even a friendly competition with the positive intention of pushing your momentum in the right direction. Now listen, if you ever miss a segment, you can go download the Breakfast with Champions podcast, subscribe and listen anytime. So head on over to bwcdaily.com to grab the link to the podcast. All right. So before we get started, I want to know in the chat, okay, for everybody that's online and everybody in Clubhouse and all that good stuff, okay, I want to know, number one, how many of you are business owners, entrepreneurs? You're out there moving and shaking, world changers out there. Where are you at? Put a one in the chat. If that's you, put one in the chat. I want to hear from you. If you're out there moving and shaking and doing things, all my business owner, entrepreneurs, all that good stuff. I see Angelina. I see Try Urban. I see Renee. I see Health. Okay, let's rock. Let's roll. Let's go. I love that. Okay. Over online, I see Chandra Thomas. Good morning. I see Santish Kumar. Good to see you here with us. All right. So here's what I would like you to do. So if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, I want you to put one. Okay. If you are somebody that's working in corporate America, okay, if that's you, I want you to put two in the chat. Just go ahead and put two in the chat if that is you. All right. Now, the third question I have for you before we get started is, since the pandemic, how many of you had to do a job interview, okay, over the last couple of years? All right, I know there's been a lot of turnover. A lot of people got new jobs. A lot of people, moved around. We had this thing called the Great Resignation, all that good stuff, right? So how many of you had to do a job interview over the last 3 years or so? Okay, I want you to just put 3 in the chat if that is you, okay? Because today what we're going to be talking about is pretty important. It's actually 6 steps to exude confidence in your job interview. Okay. I see a lot of people out there. They get, you know what I'm saying? They get nervous. The nerves creep up and it just creates a lot of issues in the job interview. Okay. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So can you walk confidently into a job interview? That's the question. Can you walk confidently? It takes a lot of courage, y'all. It takes a lot of courage, okay? Because, and here's the thing about courage. Everybody talks about, courage is really when you're afraid and you do it anyway. So it's not like the lack of fear. Yeah, you still are afraid, but you do it anyway. So it takes a lot of courage to be able to walk into a job interview and crush it and, have confidence, right? Especially when you're an excellent fit for the role, but you can't guarantee that they're going to pick you over the other candidates, right? You just can't guarantee that. So your anxiety can increase even further If you're particularly excited about this role too, I see that all the time. Job seekers coming around and, they're super excited. They put all their eggs in one basket. Okay. They're pumped up and excited about a job, which you should be excited. But, it can really increase your anxiety as you go in there if you're a little overexcited about it. Right. So, of course, just because you don't feel confident doesn't mean you can't appear confident. Okay. Interviewers remember candidates who appear passionate, secure, and ready to handle anything. So if you're ready to handle anything, okay, let me know in the chat. Love to hear from you. Okay. If you're ready to handle anything. Okay. So the more courage and poise that you show, the higher the likelihood you'll be picked as the right person for the job. So how do you fake it till you make it as far as your confidence wise, right? How do you fake it till you make it? And a lot of people don't like that term, fake it till you make it. Hey, listen, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Okay. That's called courage. And so anyways, I'm all about it. It's all good. We can fake it till I make it into the job interview, show a little bit of confidence because you may be shaking in your boots, okay, on the inside, but that's not what they got to see on the outside. So today we're going to talk about 6 steps we can implement. And number 1 is real simple. It's making good eye contact, okay? You need to make real good, clear eye contact with your interviewers. Maintain regular eye contact as you speak. And this can be a little bit tricky because you want to maintain that eye contact, but you also want to do it without looking weird, okay, or intense or glaring, okay? We've all known that person. How many of you know that person? You can think of them right now. You can picture them, right? Where they're just staring at you. Ugh, okay, that's a little creepy. So we don't want to creep them out, but you do want to have good eye contact. So how do you do that, right? So take small little glances up and down at, material you brought along, like your resume, to try to break up the stare a little bit. So you don't want to just like dead beam stare them down. You want to kind of break it up a little bit, but make sure you're making great eye contact with your interviewer. And if there are other interviewers, okay, so if you have multiple interviewers in the room at the same time, try to look at each person, equal. Right? You don't want to be paying too much attention to one person over another. You need to make sure that you're treating them all equally and you're making good eye contact with them equally. Okay. And here's another thing too. Never look at like your watch, okay, and your shoes, like looking down at your shoes. It actually may feel a little bit timid or make you seem desperate or that you want to leave. Okay. So don't look at your watch. Don't look at your shoes. Okay. Make sure that you're making good eye contact and you're paying attention, right? And you're focused on what's being asked of you. Okay. So number 2 is to maintain good posture. Okay. Good posture. The ideal posture should be professional, but it should also be relaxed. Okay. I've seen this one a lot where job seekers go in to these situations and they feel like they have to be so professional, like too professional, like they're so, it's almost like their tie is so tight, right? They put the tie on so tight that it's cutting the circulation off to their brain, right? They're too professional, okay? So you need to be professional, but also relax at the same time. Remember, these are human beings, and if you come off looking like a robot, okay, then it's not going to show up well, okay? You don't need to look like you're on edge. And at the same time, you don't want to slouch, I'm talking about like sitting, slouching in your chair, right? So how do you maintain a good posture, right? You want to make sure that you keep your spine straight, okay? And make sure that you, here's a great way to do it. Imagine that you have an invisible string pulling you up towards the sky from the top of your head. Okay. So if you're watching me online, I'm slouched right now. Okay. So I'm slouched right now, but now I'm going to pick up this invisible little string and I'm just going to pull my posture up. Okay. It's going to pull my posture up. So also make sure you avoid crossing your legs or folding your arms. What I'm talking about, where you fold your arms. This makes you look like, I don't know, makes you look guarded, right? And also avoid fiddling, okay? All my fiddlers out there, where my fiddlers at, okay? Where my fiddlers at? You just fidgeting and fiddling. They got them, kids always have those fidget spinners and all that, all the little things, okay? The little poppets and all that. You don't need all, you don't be fiddling with your paper and your pens. And I know you're nervous, okay? But if you're fiddling with stuff in your hands and papers and all that kind of stuff, all my fiddlers out there, okay, you need to cut that out. All right, just make sure you're aware if you're fiddling. Okay, number 3, learn to calm yourself down. Okay, just learn how to do this. Okay, and we'll talk about some ways to do this. But when you're anxious, right? When you're nervous and you're anxious, blood actually flows away from the brain and into your muscles. Okay. And it puts us into this fight or flight mode, right? You're ready to fight or you're ready to run. You know what I'm saying? And so the lack of blood in the brain makes it really, really hard for you to think clearly. Okay. And you start to, kind of panic a little bit. Anybody ever been there before? Or you just like panic, right? Because you're just nervous and it seems like everything's just stacking up on you. So if you get very nervous during your interviews, how can you calm down? How can you relax a little bit? Well, one of the ways to do this is to take slow, deep breaths. All right. Make sure you're taking them through your nose. Right? Feel your stomach expand and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Just like that. All right. So make sure we'll do that again. That felt good. So breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Okay. Just don't do it like that. Okay. Too loud in front of them because you might look weird. Okay. But just make sure you're doing it. Right. Calm down just a little bit. Relax. Okay. The other thing that you can do, right, to make sure that you're exuding confidence is to practice, right? Practice. It's something that I do all the time. When you prepare and you practice, it definitely relieves some of those nerves. I'm telling you right now. Like anytime, to give you guys an example, anytime I do one of these episodes, I get nervous. Straight up. I get nerves. I get anxiety. It happens. One of my biggest fears is public speaking, right? But I have courage. I learned how to work through that, okay? And how did I work through that? Well, I know that I need to prepare. I need to practice, okay? I need to know what I'm talking about, okay? I can't just go in blind. So don't go into your interviews blind like that, okay? That's a big mistake. You want to increase your anxiety, go in blind, okay? If you practice, well, you're going to feel a lot more prepared and you're going to be able to handle this thing. And so you don't know exactly how the interview will go, right? But you'll have a basic idea of what questions your managers might actually ask you. So how can you practice? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about it, right? Put together some practice questions and have someone do a mock interview, okay? Now, you can ask your friends, your family, some old coworkers. You can ask people that you know to do this for you and to give you, to rehearse your responses and ask for the feedback about how you appear and how you sound, all those things. There's also out here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there is a resource. It's called the PIT Crew, okay? PIT Crew. PIT stands for Practice Interview Team. Okay. And so if you're in Dallas, they'll do it in person, but they also do it online on Zoom and will record you and give you that recording and the feedback to go with it. So Google it. Okay. I don't have their contact info right here with me right now, but just Google it. Okay. PIT Crew, Practice Interview Team. For those of you that want to get a few reps in before you go into the live real deal, I would highly encourage that you do that. Okay. So, practice sessions can show you how to present yourself better and to really make a better impression, right? The next thing that you could do, all right, is number 5 is to dress the part. Okay, dress the part. Dressing well gives you a natural air of confidence, and it shows the hiring manager that you're taking the process seriously. Okay, so one of the things that you can do is to look around at what the other people are dressing like. Okay, you don't want to go in a suit and tie if everybody's like real relaxed and chill kind of a dress. So it depends on your industry. Everybody's industry is a little bit different. So how do you make the right impact when it comes to your dress? Pay attention, right? Pay attention to the attire that other people are wearing. This will give you some insight as what you should wear, and you'll feel more confident that you're not all sloppy. Okay. You're not all sloppy up in that interview. Okay. You need to go in there and you need to be feeling good. You need to be dressing good. When you're dressing good, you feel good, right? It just does. You look in the mirror and you're like, ooh, okay. All right. I'm looking good today. Okay. That's what you need to give yourself a little boost. Okay. A little boost of confidence. All right. So step 6 would be to stay positive. So what you mean by that? What you talking about? Stay positive. Well, it can be hard to stay confident if your thoughts, your mindset are all doom and gloom. Okay. Mindset is extremely important in this whole game. Okay. And so if it's all doom and gloom, it's going to be tough for you. Okay. So, matter of fact, I think of somebody right now that I've been working with, and she, unfortunately, I'm not going to name any names, but she's her own worst enemy. Okay. She is her own worst enemy. She goes in before she walks in the door. Okay. Because she's told herself she's not good enough. She's not worthy. They don't want me. I hear every excuse in the book about why they don't want to hire her. And it's kind of sad, actually. She has devalued herself so much, and it's really, really sad. And I wish I could do more to help her. But it's in her mind. We've got to change that mindset of, they don't want me, nobody wants to hire me, the doom and gloom. It's really, really dangerous, guys. But on the flip side too, I want you to be cautious of this one. Be cautious of, overly expecting to get the job. Okay. Because if you go into that job interview and you're like, oh, I got this thing, and you got all the eggs in one basket, and you're like super pumped, and this is like, oh my gosh, I got to get this job, and it's the one, right? Well, if you get let down, that can be devastating. I have people that literally, it's like crushing to them, absolutely crushes them when they, don't get the job. So on both sides, you got to be careful. Okay. You got to be careful that you're not, already defeating yourself, but you're also not being too overly excited about the position if you don't get it, right? You don't want to devastate yourself. So how do you do this? Allow yourself to imagine, what it would be like to get the job. Okay. What would it be like? How would it feel? Okay. Imagine that. That's good. Visualization. Okay. At the same time, remember, it's not the end of the world if you don't. Okay. The world doesn't end if you don't get this job. All right. But definitely visualize it. Put yourself in that place and see yourself winning. Right. Always visualize yourself winning. So, and here's something that you can do. Make sure you plan something fun to do right after the interview. Okay. That way you'll have something to look forward to if it doesn't go well. Okay. If it doesn't go well, you're like, shoot, I'm going to get to go with my kids somewhere. I'm going to get to go do this, or maybe go get a massage, or whatever it is for you to relax, something fun, something exciting, whatever that is. Plan something after the interview so you're not just nail biting, just nail biting, okay, the whole time, nervous and like, oh my gosh, they haven't called me yet. Oh my gosh, they haven't called me yet. Like, no, okay? So have something after the interview to kind of release your mind a little bit, okay? So you guys, here's the deal. Job interviews are tricky, all right? They really are. So present yourself as well as you can, but avoid giving yourself a hard time if things go really badly. Okay. You wouldn't be the first person to mess up a job interview. You're not going to be the last person to mess up a job interview. And learn from your mistakes, right? If you make a mistake, you drop the ball, hey, that's okay. Use those lessons in your next interview, right? Each one of those interviews is a lesson, okay? It's a lesson. So, and then the last part about this, guys, is once you get done through those interviews, you need to follow up. The money's in the follow up. Matter of fact, I have a whole system about that part of the process. Okay. An entire system training that shows you, it's called the Job Search Trojan Horse. I was actually featured on Forbes for this. Right. And it's a strategy on how you follow up most effectively to literally make that employer say, wow. You're going to wow them. And you're going to go viral within the organization. You're like, what? Go viral? Yeah, I'm going to show you how to get in, okay, and then go viral, right? And to really, really, really stand out from the competition, right? That's what I do. I want to help job seekers to stand out from the competition and to blow people away. They're like, oh my gosh, wow, haven't seen that before. So creative. That's amazing. Can't believe this guy did that. Or this gal did that, right? And so all of a sudden they start sharing you to the other decision makers. It's an amazing, amazing process. You can find the link to register for our Career Transition Summit. It's either in the description or there's a link up above. If you're in Clubhouse right now, it's called the Career Transition Summit. It's free. It takes about an hour long to go through the process. And I have an entire system, a step-by-step system called the Career Transition Playbook that'll help you to recover your cash flow. So make sure if you are seeking employment or thinking about, making a change, a lot of people made changes. If that's you, make sure to go ahead and click that link, get into the free Career Transition Summit. The other thing that I have for each and every one of you today is it doesn't matter if you are seeking employment or not. Each and every one of you should be on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, let me hear from you. Like LinkedIn, I'm locked in, get the job done when I clocked in. Put a 4 in the chat if that's you, if you're on LinkedIn, okay? Because if you're on LinkedIn, I've got another ebook for you. Okay. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're trying to make more sales, you're trying to connect, network, you're trying to raise your authority, whatever it is that you're doing there on that platform. Okay. If you want to take it seriously and you want to optimize your profile to convert the eyeballs that land on it. Okay. Because that's the whole purpose. You want people to see you. You want to get those eyeballs on your profile and you want to convert them, okay, into conversations. And so if that's you, you want to turn your profile into a landing page that can convert, right? Whether you're a job seeker, you're a business owner, trying to make more sales, whatever it is that you're doing there, okay? Maybe you're a recruiter. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is for you. It's a free LinkedIn optimization ebook. Again, the link is in the description or the link is up above in the Clubhouse room. You can grab that. And if you have enjoyed this, all right, if you've enjoyed this episode today of the Who You Know Show, I would absolutely love for you to check out our podcast. Okay, check out the Who You Know Show podcast. We've had some amazing guests on that show. We've had Grant Cardone, Elena Cardone, Tim Story, David Meltzer. Of course, we all know the one and only Glenn Lundy has been on the show a few times. I mean, we've just had some amazing, amazing episodes. Sharon Lecter's been there. We've just done a lot of really good episodes. I think you guys will enjoy it. And make sure you subscribe and give us a 5-star review, okay? Nothing less than y'all, nothing less than 5. If you're going to give me less than 5, just don't give it to me at all, okay? If it's a 4, it's failing to me. 5 or nothing, please, okay? It helps us. The reviews really help us to, get more visibility on the show, right? And so we would really, really appreciate that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Who You Know Show, where we talked about 6 steps to exude confidence in your job interview. Let's rock, let's roll, let's go. Cash flow. Listening to the Who You Know Show podcast. My name is Trevor Houston, and if you've enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing wherever you listen and leave us a positive review to help us keep the mics on in the studio. Until next week, that's the show about Who You Know.